Welcome to this episode of Your Property Business, the video podcasts that help you get the most out of your own property business. So how did you get to this point? So we're on Zoom doing this interview. What's your career today look like?
So I started in the fire industry, literally just servicing fire extinguishers. That's all I did. It's all I knew. Loved it. Kind of got, how should we say, I suppose different routes in life. Decided to go on my own for various reasons. Sort of found a little bit really like it wasn't sort of enough. It wasn't fulfilling enough, and I wanted to sort of venture into other ways and progress really. So I decided that after I started my business, I just wanted to invest as much as I possibly could in my own sort of development, if you like. So we piled every penny that we sort of made into my education. So
there wasn't holidays or trips out. It was just getting educated.
Basically, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Pile every penny into it, yeah, pretty much. Even to the point where you can't really afford it. You do it because you're trying to move forward, but yeah. So I did things like I went off to the fire service college at Morton and Marsh, did some courses there. Did my NEBOSH fire certificate. Did some like a diploma in fire door inspection. What else have I done? All sorts of things. I'm now a tier 2. I'll explain a little bit. Basically, with competence in the industry, improving competence is quite a big focus at the moment. There's various ways of doing so, and the route I chose to take really was with the Institute of Fire Safety Managers.
Okay.
And they've basically got like a tiering system of being able to sort of demonstrate competence, if you like. And the tier starts with tier 1, which is sort of an entry level sort of assessors, where you're just sort of moving into the industry and you're doing your training, etc. And then afterwards, after a bit of a mentoring and a bit more time in the industry, you can actually move forward, go onto their tier 2 register. Okay. What I've done, you have to obviously send off, your assessments and be sort of check that you're doing your job properly to be competent. So I moved on to that, which is good. It's a good way of sort of proving that you know what you're talking about. And then the last stage, which is a tier 3, where you have to be sort of third party accredited. That's a process which I'm going through at the moment, or we'll be going through it very soon. So we can be on the tier 3 register really. So that's just one of the small things that we can do to show our clients that we're dedicated to doing things properly.
Yeah, smashing. I mean, that's one of the questions I was going to sort of touch on later, and I think it's important to pick that up. That fire risk services and assessment services, it's a highly skilled, highly qualified area of expertise, and I think that's important just to bring out there, isn't it? That you can't pick this up overnight. No situation. We've talked often about no house is the same. There is no tick list. You kind of got to be there and see it, and kind of have some experience about. A backlog of experience to draw from. I guess, do you find that's the case?
Yeah, every property that I go into, it's very easy to maybe become complacent and think that every property is similar, but really it's not. I mean, even now you go into some jobs and some properties, and you sit there and you think, you scratch your head and you think, this it's not the same. There are lots of different different things, different problems. To sort of overcome really, and there's not always one given solution, and sometimes it actually takes some thinking about. One of the things with fire risk assessments was I was always sort of given this mentality of you don't want to do fire risk assessments, or why don't you want to do fire risk assessments? You don't want to do fire risk assessments because if you do it wrong, you'll end up in prison. Okay, well, how about we don't do it wrong in the first place?
Okay.
And I really do. I don't think you ever go into this industry not wanting to be to not do it properly. Does that make sense? You sort of go into this industry because I actually care about people and I want to make sure people are safe. people, especially in like HMOs, the tenants of HMOs, a lot of the time they don't actually realise the risks that they're exposed to. You know, so I sort of pride myself really on going into a property with the experience and the knowledge of knowing what then is actually needed to keep them safe, and helping the owner, the landlord, you know, implement those measures really to make sure that if anything, you know, anything did happen in the property, that all the tenants are going to be able to evacuate safely and not become, you know, injured or worse.